Nice. Today we'll talk about the data types. This is week 2, and we'll be talking about data types. So the question you have to ask is, what is a data type? So you see, a data type actually defines what data a variable is going to hold. Now, what you have to ask yourself again, now you don't know what is variable. What is a variable? A variable serves as a container. A variable actually serves as a container that will be holding some values, or let's say some things. For instance, let's say you you having a what you have a basket and a bowl, and you want to store data, or you want to put some things into it. We all know that water, a basket cannot store water, but rather a bowl can hold some kind of water for you. So let's assume you now went and poured water inside a basket. It won't actually, you will not come back to see anything. Or that's what in C programming language, it is an error, because there's no way you can use basket to hold water. But you can actually use bowl to hold water, whilst you can put other things like, let's say, yam and all stuff inside a basket that will hold. So meaning the data type will actually determine what your variable will hold. So for instance, we have data types like the integer data types. We deal with integer numbers. We all know integer numbers, which I don't have to explain. And we have the float. The float is numbers with decimal places, which is the single precision floating point. And we have the double. The double is also a double precision floating systems. They are all data types that can hold numbers with decimal places, but have different, they all have, they have variation in the in terms of the limit. So for instance, the 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 float can actually hold up to like 6 to 7 decimal places, depending on your system, whilst the double can hold up to 16, 17 decimal places. You have the character. The character is used to hold alphabet like characters like A, B, C, D. And we have the bool, which is a true or false. And also we have the strings. The string is used to hold like names, things. You see, something that's more than a character. Let's say your name. Right now, Emmanuel. If I want to store Emmanuel, I have to use strings because character cannot hold string. Whilst integer types, which is the int, the double, the float. You see, we have data types that can hold alphabets like names, characters, and we have data types that can hold numbers. So right now you cannot use an integer data type which is used to hold numbers. You can't use them to hold like alphabets, like names. You see, so you have to know the difference between the data types, the ones that will be used to hold names and the ones that will be used to hold, let's say, numbers. So for instance, let me show you an example on the screen. We have data types known as the int, we have double, we have float, sorry, we have float, also we have character, as I say, character, and we have string, and we have okay, let's talk about this right now. So now the integer data type is used to hold integer numbers without decimal places. For instance, so this is my data type. This is actually what we call data type. But before you can store something, data types is only telling your system that, please, I want to store this type of data types. You see, it's just like you telling your mom that, mom, today I want to put my clothes in the laundry. Now you are telling your mom you want to put your clothes in the laundry basket, but you don't actually have the laundry basket here. So now your mom will provide a laundry basket for you, which is anything like any name or whatsoever. So right now I can name my laundry basket like numbers, you see. Then right now I will put my clothes inside the laundry basket, because you see the numbers here is saving as a container that will hold my data types. So right now, if I want to store something over here, for instance, and we all know that the integer data types is used to store numbers. So if I want to store a number like 42, so you can see I've now assigned 42 to my variable here, which is an integer data type. Do you understand it? So this is my data type. I'm telling the system that I'll be storing an integer data type of 42 inside this container, which is the variable. And also, if I want to do the same for double, the double is double precision, meaning it is used to hold decimal places number. So I can call this thing num, you see, and then I'll assign my value to it like 3.45892, something like that. And I terminate it. Then my float, I can name it, let's say num1. Then I'll assign value to it like 7.234. See, and then my character. Now we said character is used to hold characters, like a character, one character, alphabet or whatsoever. So right now I'll call this thing like car, just something like this. I'm sorry, something like this. And then so this is now my variable that will be holding my character data type. So character something, and you have, when it is a character, you have to put it inside a single quote, so like a, and then we terminate it. And then my strings, I can call my strings name, and then I'll assign my name to it. Now strings, before you assign a name to your string, it should be in a double quote. So for instance, name like Emmanuel, I'm a noun, so Emmanuel, and then I terminate it. So this process means I'm actually storing my informations in these variables. So I'm storing an integer data type of 42 inside my numbers, which is my variable, and I'm doing the same for double. So I'm storing a double, which is double precision. So storing double, which is 3.45896, into my container, which is my variable called num. Now, one thing you have noticed is that I did not repeat any variable here. You see, this variable here is different from this, and this is also different from this. The reason is, for instance, if you are called John in a house, and your elder brother is also called John, and your mom stand in, let's say, upstairs and shouted, John. Now, who will respond since we have two Johns in the house? So your mom has to be specific. Even if you people have two names, it has to have some kind of differences. Like for instance, he can call you John firstborn, then the firstborn will know, oh, I am the one mom is calling, or John lastborn, you see. But if your mom shouted John, now who will respond? Two of you are also, you can see that there will be some kind of collision, like crash over there, because two of you are confused. Who am I calling? That's the main reason why you don't have to have uh, you don't have you it is not appropriate, or even it will prompt you an error. You don't have to have the same variable in your program. You see, sometimes the let's not talk about that, but for right now, whatever variable you should use should be different from the other one. So you can see I have numbers here, which is double from num, which is double from num1 character, and then the name. So this is actually how to store your variables. Now let's try to see out or print out whatever we stored here and see whether it will work. So to print out, we use this called cout. The cout here is declared in the IOStream. That's why we can use it, as we said in our previous video. So the cout here is located in the IOStream. So we will now say cout, and since we are using namespace xtd, we don't have to be repeating the xtd colon before the cout. You see, so over here cout, then I'll call my variable here. Now my variable is what is holding my data. So for instance, let's say I hand over my phone to John to hold for me. Now when I want my phone, I will not call my phone. Right now I'll not go and call 42. You see, no, I'll have to call John to bring me my phone. Since I've given the phone to John, John will now have to what? Bring me my phone. So if that's the case, in order to get my phone back or my number back, which is 42, I have to call my numbers. You see, so if I call my numbers right now, and then I run this program here, you can see that my numbers is here, which is what? The 42. since the 42 I've stored in the numbers, 42 has to do what? Show. So see over here, my integer data type is my integer variable is holding 42. So if I called my variable here, it has to see out whatever that have been installed in it. Let's do same for all. So over here, let's add end line. End line means the next variable or the next thing should start from a different line. So I can use C out here, and then let me call my now, and then end line. Let me just copy this and repeat them so I don't have to be writing. So over here, this is num1, and then this is my character. So I'll just call car, and then over here I'll call my name. You see, they are the variables. The variable I've stored the information inside. So now if I run my program, you see that they will print out whatever I've installed inside them. There's an error here now, and then what? Num1. Okay, this is the error. Sorry, I don't know why it happened this way. It actually has to be less than sign, but rather using a greater sign. So now if I run my code here, you see that it will print out everything I've stored inside. You see, so you can see that in the variable numbers, I've stored 42. In the variable num, I've stored 3.45896. And in my variable num1, I've stored 7.546, which has been printed out here. And my character, I've stored A, which has been printed here. And then my strings, I've stored my name, which is Emmanuel. You see, so this is actually what we call the data types, and this is what we call the cout, which will allow you to print out everything to the console. So in our next video, we will continue from where we stopped today. See you tomorrow. Have a nice day.